This is Muhammad here from Vmware Technologies, and I will be the one who will be hosting today's webinar. And I'm working here at Vmware Technologies for more than 4 years as a lead for sales engineering. And with me, I have Nivas from product management team. And I see that attendees are joining in, so we'll give it a minute and we'll start today's webinar. So please stay connected and we'll start in a minute or two. Thank you so much. Thank you once again for staying connected. So we see like most of them are joined, and we'll start today's webinar. And before we get into the webinar, I'd like to give you or set up some ground rules here where all the attendees here are muted, and we will have today's presentation, and by end of the session we will also have live demo on the product, and we'll also take a look at the we will also have a Q&A by end of the session. So let's talk about the company. So a brief introduction here about the company, Vmware Technologies. As we started more than 10 years ago, we have experience providing the backup solution to like 100+ countries, and we have a 24/7 technical support here. And to begin with, let's take a look at today's webinar, which is 5 things you need to consider while choosing a backup solution. So this is today's topic we're going to talk about, and then we'll take a look at today's agenda, which is we are going to see scenarios a backup solution has to handle, and the 5 factors that make the difference, and what makes Vmware the right choice. And then we'll also go have the live demo, and finally the Q&A. Okay, so the scenarios a backup solution has to handle. So there are a couple of scenarios here. So the first scenario is listed diverse requirements. So it talks about a diverse requirements. So if you take a look when as an IT or any organization, you will have mixed IT environment where you will have physical virtual machines, and also like cloud instances running on AWS. You will also have SaaS backup, like SaaS solutions like Office 365 as well as Google apps. So this is how the mixed IT environment usually is. And when you see the type of backups, so you will have requirements of doing image level backups, file level backups, application level backups. So these are the different types of backups an organization usually plans to backup. And the backup storage targets. So here, as an organization, there are different storage targets where usually are planned. Like there will be like direct attached storage, there will be a NAS, or there will be a SAN, and also sometimes the map drives. So these are the backup storage targets usually an organization has, right? And followed by the backup deployment, how the deployment should be. It should be on-premise, it should be hybrid cloud where you have a local copy as well as somewhere an additional copy on cloud, or you'll also have on-premise as well as off-site backups. This is how the backup deployment actually required in each in different organizations. And the scenario 2 talks about the recovery objectives. So the first thing it says about backup frequency. So this plays a crucial role here. So the backup frequency, like how, it talks about the RPO, the recovery point objective. So how fast you can backup. So that's something every every IT admin or any one who is looking at the any backup solution, they look at the backup frequency, right? And there is another a key factor is instant recovery capabilities. So this is generally everyone every IT admin or any one who is doing the backup like for different environments, they'll look into this instant recovery capabilities on a backup solution. So what it needs to do is the instant boots of a VM or a physical machine, and it also has to help you instantly doing granular level restore. Like if you're backing up VMs which has SQL, Exchange, you need a granular restore of those mails or mailboxes from Exchange, or a table from a SQL database. So those are the capabilities you look in. And then moving on, you also look at the multiple recovery options. So this is something where you need a solution. You just don't want like one type of recovery. You need multiple recovery options, where a solution provides you doing instant recoveries, like instant boots of the VM, or if you want to perform like a file level recovery from a backup job instead of restoring the entire VM or a physical machine, you just need a couple of files and folders to be recovered. So and also like you will look into some other features where if you're planning to do like a cross-platform migration. That's what it talks finally, the cross-platform migration. So if you're planning to migrate your physical environment to virtual, or your virtual environment to physical, you need a solution which provides that feature, that capabilities. So you get a software where you have the physical to physical migration, like physical to virtual, or virtual to virtual environment. So those are the cross-platform migration capabilities you look into. And let's move on to the next scenario, which talks about the reliability and scalability. So here, the first point, if you take a look, it says scale as when you required. So it talks about when you are planning for a backup solution, you plan for the storage as well. So like instead of spending upfront a cost for purchasing a large number of storage, which you think which you will not be exactly sure of how much storage you need, but you spend on the upfront storage. But you need a solution where you don't have to spend that. What you need is a solution which helps you to scale out the storage repositories as when it required. So that is something you look into. And then you look into the secure backup. So you need the backup to be encrypted while it's on the fly, while it's on the rest. So that's another key feature. Every one who is looking to a backup solution, they'll require the secure backups, and then the efficient use of storage. So the storage, what you have allocated for your backup solution, it has to be used efficiently, right? So you need compression, and you need deduplication, and also the retention policies. So these are the three things which will help you to efficiently use the storage which you have connected to a backup solution, right? And finally, the verified backups. So whatever is being backed up, it has to be verified. Like it has to have a successful backup. So when it comes to a recovery, you need those jobs to be recovered successfully. So you need something it's being verified automatically on a backup solution, where it does the mount check, it also do a boot check. So those kind of features it's required for a powerful backup software. And finally, the last scenario, the fourth scenario, talks about the disaster recovery. So this is another thing you look into. So what happens when your on-site server goes down, or your on-premise location where you had all your the primary resources got, like the primary backup or primary resources got burned out, or some disaster happens. You need an offsite data so that you can plan for, so that you do a faster recovery, right? So that's what it says here. So I mean, having an offsite DR, or having having a cloud like a hybrid cloud environment, you have additional copy somewhere offsite or somewhere on the on the cloud. So in case even if you lose your data on site, you still have the ability to recover it from offsite, and you can rebuild the on-site servers immediately, right? And moving on, let's see the 5 factors that make the difference. And so here is the 5 factors listed. So the first one says the comprehensive backup solution. and the recovery objectives, the RPO and the RTO, which you look into it, and you have backup. You look into the backup storage management and the reliable backups and disaster recovery capabilities. So these are like 5 factors you look into when before you opt for any backup solution. So and let's see what makes the Vmware the right choice here. Okay, so these are the features the Vmware is offering right now, and it all covers into the 5 factor and the scenarios which we talked about. So the Vmware actually delivers all the scenarios, and it helps to get the most of the requirements fulfilled for the customers. So if you see, the Vmware offers the physical, virtual, as well as cloud backups are available, and you also have the CBT, the changelog tracking technology to track the changes for incremental backups and scheduling policies, instant recovery options like performing instant boot or instant granular level recovery, and also the migration. So if you're planning to move from physical to virtual or virtual to virtual, yes, Vmware does that. And the encrypted backup. So encryption, compression, deduplication is it is inbuilt with our Vmware solution. So every data which has been backed up, it is encrypted on the fly, and it's encrypted on the rest, and it's compressed, it's deduplicated, and scale on demand. So you can scale out the storage repositories whenever it's required. So you can add multiple storage repositories as when needed, and the data will be automatically spilled to the newly added drives, and you can continue without any migration of the storage from one drive to another drive. And then it talks about the 3-tier backup verification test. So yes, so Vmware does the 3-tier backup verification. So it does the the verification of all the image level backups by doing the mount as well as by doing the boot check. So we will have a quick demo at the end of it where we will discuss more about this verifications and the storage repositories. Okay, so I'm having some trouble here connecting to the audio. Sorry about that. So finally, it's the VM replication, backup data replication. So yes, Vmware does provide this VM replication where you can replicate the VMs for the high availability, and you can perform the failure and failback immediately from the Vmware BDR web console itself. And the backup data replication. So yes, you have a choice of replicating your local, like your Vmware primary backup service data to somewhere offsite or somewhere to Vmware cloud. So you can build any setup as when required. So you can have a digital copy of your local backups data. So in case something happens to your primary server, you will be immediately able to recover the data from your cloud or offsite service. Okay, so let's quickly take a look at what Vmware offers here. So as we discussed, it's a one-stop solution for all the backup and disaster recovery needs. So for all small and medium business customers. So the first one, it's a VM backup solution. So a solution to backup. These are the Vmware offerings. So the first one, as I said, it's a VM backup for backing up and replicating the VMs from VMware and Hyper-V. And then we have image backups to back up the physical and the Windows servers and workstations, through which you can also perform the bare metal recoveries. And we also have network backup solution to backup files and folders and application. And this solution works in different environments, like for Windows, for Linux, as well as for Mac. You can use this network backup solution for the critical files and folders to be backed up to your local server. And then we have offsite DR, so where you could replicate your copy of, where you can keep your local backup server's data copy on a different server, like a DR server. And we also have cloud DR. So again, it's having a replicated copy of your backed up data to Vmware cloud. So a copy of your local servers data can be can be kept on Vimbo Cloud, which is running on AWS. And then we also have online backup solution. So this is a direct backup to cloud. So for small customers who doesn't afford having their own backup server, they can easily use this online backup solution, and they can back up their files, folders, applications from Linux, Macs, and from Linux, Mac, as well as from Windows directly to Vimbo Cloud, so that they'll have access to their cloud account. So as and when required, they can perform the recoveries from the cloud, from their respective cloud account. And we also have SaaS backup. So this solution we have typically designed to back up the Office 365 and Google apps, and again it will be direct to cloud. So it's a SaaS direct to Vimbo Cloud. And finally, it's BDR 360. It's a tool to monitor and manage all your backups from a centralized portal. So if you have a distributed environment where you have multiple Vimbo servers running, and if you would like to monitor them from a single console, then you could use this BDR online tool, through which you can see all your backups and you can monitor them and you can manage them from a centralized portal. And moving on, we'll have a quick demo of the product where Nivas is here from the product management team, and he'll give you a quick overview on our product. And finally, if time permits, we'll also have a Q&A session by end of it. So please stay connected for a while. I'll have Nivas to take over and help you with this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed. That was a nice presentation. So everyone attendees there. So myself, Nivas, I'm working for the product management team at Vmware Technologies. So what I will do is I will just share my screen. Okay, and I will explain how the product works and how Vimbo is addressing the different scenarios that Mohammed would have just explained. Okay, just hold on for a minute. I will just share my screen. Okay, so this is one of my Windows machine where I have performed this BDR installation. So I'll just start with the installation so that you can get a better idea to how to deploy the product and how to configure the backups and how to perform restorations and other replications. Okay, the installation is very simple. So just go to vmware.com, and here you can find an option to the download section. Just click on this download. It will take you to this download page, so you can download the Windows installer from here. So just download and install it on your machine. It's a simple installation. It will take some 3 to 5 steps. You need to give some details like where you want to store the backup data and the port numbers. So that's all. The product will get installed. And yes, after installation, you will get an icon like this. So this is a browser-based application. So just click to open this. Okay, it will pop you up to this page. So you need to log in, and this is the dashboard of Vimbo BDR. Yes, here itself you can see all the job activities from here. So it means the job active jobs, the storage quota, and the activities of the recent job. So after the installation, the first thing that you need to do is configure the backup storage. So where you want to store the backup data, you need to configure it from here. It's very simple. Just go to management and click on storage pool. Yes, so you can see you can use any kind of your storage to store the backup data. So whether it can be local machine, the hard drive, or it can be a NAS or SAN, or if you have any deduplication appliances, you can use that to store the backup data. So initially the machine will detect all the physical volumes connected to your machine. So if you want to add your network drive like SAN or NAS, just click on this click here. It will take you to this wizard. So just enter the drive name, the drive path. If your drive is having a username and password, just enter it and click on save. So it will add. So once it is added, just go back to the storage pool. You can create an add storage. Just select the drives where you want to store the backup data, and then give a name for the storage pool and just click on save. So the storage pool is now ready. So hereafter you can use this particular pool to store the backup data. So now coming to backup configuration, yes, from this single console you can configure the backups. So just click on backup, so you have option to configure the backup for the VMware virtual machines directly from here. You can configure the backup for the Hyper-V virtual machines. So you can configure the backup for the Windows servers and workstation, and you will also configure the backup for the files in application. For files in application, we are providing a separate agent. That agent need to be installed, and through the agent you can configure the backup. Okay. Yes. First, we'll see. For example, how we can configure the backup for the VMware virtual machines. Yes, the Hyper-V and Microsoft Windows follows the similar steps. So let's jump into this backup configuration. So yeah, initially you need to add the host where your virtual machines are running. So you need just click on Add VMware vSphere, and you need to give the credentials here, like the host name or IP address, which is followed by the credentials, means the username and password of this particular host, and then click on Add Host. If you click on Add Host, your host is now added. So you can see I have added 2 of my ESXi here. So once it is added, just click on Backup. So it will list out all the virtual machines running under this particular host. Just select the machines you want to backup. Then if you want to exclude any particular virtual machines or disk from the backup, you can make use of this VM or disk exclusion. And after selecting the virtual machines, just click on Next. So yes, here it's the point to enable the application aware. So yeah, so I always recommend, okay, to enable application aware if you're running any Microsoft applications in your virtual machines. The thing is, if you have enabled this application aware processing, so we'll check for the stability of the application writers, and only if all the application writers are stable, then we'll proceed with the backup. So this is to maintain the database consistency of your applications. By the way, this is an optional thing. If you have applications, I recommend you to go with it, or else you can just ignore it. Then click on, after selecting this application aware settings, then click on Next. So here is the crucial thing. You need to select how frequently you want to backup. Okay. Yes, just so you, as Abdul's in the thing we have discussed, the one of the factors that need to be considered while choosing a backup solution is the recovery point objective and recovery time objective. So yes, coming to this, so Vmware is offering 15 minutes as the minimum frequency for the incremental backups. Okay, but we have a lot of options. You can either can extend to 12 hours in this run every, and we have option to configure the backups for daily, and we have option to configure the backups weekly also, and you have option to enable the additional full backups. Yes, just select how frequently you want to run. So I just go with the default one of 1 hour. Then yes, if you want to have additional copy, you can enable this, and then click on Next. So here you need to select the retention policy. For how long period you need to retain the backup data, you can select from here. Basically, we have 2 retention policies. The first one is a basic retention, which allow you to keep last 19 days of recovery points, and the advanced retention, so this works on GFS, grandfather and father son kind of retention. Then yes, you need to select the storage where you want to store this backup data. And the one more important thing, you have an option to encrypt your backup data. So we are providing you with the option to add your custom password. So you can add a password here and give a hint for it. So once you have saved, so all your backup data is encrypted using this password that you have set by you. After selecting this, then click on Next. So it's a final step. Just review the configuration and just give a name for your backup job. And if you want to run this backup job immediately, just click on this checkbox and save the backup. So once you save the backup will start to run, and will yes, it will copy the data from the data store, and from the data store to the backup storage repository. So yes, during the transfer and also the storage, all your data is compressed, encrypted, and deduplicated. So yes, and apart from backup, Vmware also offers replication. So you can replicate the virtual machines from one ESXi to another ESXi. Okay, if something went wrong with the source one, you can just fail over the replicated virtual machine and you can start working on it. So it's currently available only for the VMware, and soon you can expect it for the Hyper-V also. Yes, and backup configuration is similar for Hyper-V and Microsoft Windows machines. For Hyper-V, we have an option to backup the standalone host, and we also have an option to backup the cluster, Hyper-V cluster also. So just if you want to backup the cluster, just click on cluster and give the credentials there, cluster credential. Or if it is standalone, just click on standalone and just give the credential. So once it is added, you can select the virtual machine and you can configure the backups like how we did for VMware. Yeah. Yes. Coming to the replication. So you have configured one of the replication. So I have a replication between one ESXi to another ESXi. Once the replication got completed, we have multiple options here. Just click on restore. So here the failover. So which switch the operation. If something went wrong with the original VM, it switched the operation on the target and you can start working on the target one. Okay. And the second one is if you want to make any changes, or if you want to make the replica as a permanent one. Yes, or if you want to fail back it, so these options would be helpful for you, and you have option to recover the individual files also. So these are the recovery options available in this VM replication. And coming to the main recovery options of the backup data, so we have multiple recovery options. The first one, we'll just take the again VMware as the example. The first one is the quick VM recovery. So this will allow you to instantly boot the backup data as a virtual machine or any of the hypervisor like VMware or Hyper-V. If you have made this on a Linux installation, if it's a Linux BDS server, you have option to quickly boot the virtual machine on KVM2. So this will instantly boot the data directly from the backup storage repository. And once the machine is booted, so you can start working on it. The one thing is with Bamboo, if you are making some changes on the quick boot session, so that changes will also be tracked. So while going for the permanent recovery, you have option to include or exclude those changes that you have made in the quick VM session. So it's for first recovery option. And the second one, the live recovery, is a permanent recovery. So we'll copy the data from the backup storage and paste it on your data store, and we'll create a new virtual machine for you. That's a permanent recovery. And this third one is the file level recovery. This option will allow you to recover the individual files and folders from the backup. So instead of restoring the entire machine, you have flexibility to restore, select and restore the necessary files. And the fourth one is the disk management mount. So this will allow you to attach the backup data to the local disk management of the machine where you have installed the Vmware BDS server. And once it is attached, so you can browse through the files and folders and you can recover the files and folders from it. And the fifth option is the disk level recovery. So this will allow you to attach the backup VMDK to another virtual machine, another VMware virtual machine of your choice. So once the machine, once the VMDK is attached to a new virtual machine, when you open that particular virtual machine, you have access to this particular VMDK, and you can make use of that via attached drive. And the last one is the download. So this is one such unique option from Bamboo, which allow you to recover the backup data into multiple file formats. For example, even though this is my VMware backup, I have an option to download it as a VHD, VMDK, VHDX, flat VMDK, and RAW. So this allow me to migrate the virtual machines from one platform to another platform. So if I'm backing up your VMware virtual machine, if you want to migrate it to Hyper-V, yes, I can just download the VHD or VHDX and I can instantly migrate it to Hyper-V. And these recovery options are similar for the other backups also, like Hyper-V and image backup. So image backup, in additional, we also offer bare metal recovery, so which allow you to restore the data to a new hardware. Yeah. So these are the recovery options. Mohammed said, you have multiple recovery options and you can choose whichever you need, whatever you need. And coming to reporting options, so we have multiple reporting options. So you can check the status of each and every backup directly from this report. So you can see backup success and failure. You can see it from here, and you can see the reason for the backup failure. And one such important thing is the recoverability of the backup data. You can check the recoverability of the backup data using this image integrity check. So yes, basically we do it's three-tier verification. So during the backup data transfer, we'll check the integrity of the backup data. Okay, that's the first one. And the second one, we'll try to mount the backup data and check whether the data, the backup data is mountable or not. So when it is mountable, we can put a tick mark here, and this means your backup data is perfectly mountable. And if you're getting any error like this, you need to check on this backup. And the third is we try to boot the backup data in the background, and we'll try to capture the screenshot. So using this screenshot, you can check the recoverability of the virtual machines that you have backed up easily. So if you click on this, yes, you can see this machine, this backup data is bootable. So I can trust on this backup data. But you can see this, you can see some black screen here. So yes, seriously, you need to check on this backup data. So yes, so this is how you can check the recoverability of the backup data. And the next one, Vmware offers, so this is a primary copy, and Vmware also offers offsite copying. For that, just go to management, click on offsite copy management, and click on configure. So yes, we have two options here. So if you have an offsite location, then it's very simple. Install Vmware offsite DR server in your offsite machine. Okay, and once after the successful installation, just enter the IP address of the offsite DS server here and click on save replication. So all the data from this primary backup server will get replicated to this offsite DS server. Okay, in any case, if something went wrong with the primary backup server, you don't need to worry. You have all the data replicated to this offsite server. So this is one of my offsite server. We can see all my jobs replicated here. When you click on restore, you can see the same recovery options here. Same recovery options. You can choose which recovery option you need to go for, and you can perform the restoration. And yes, apart from this, Vmware also offer, if you don't have any offsite location or you're looking for any kind of hybrid deployment, then you can go for Vmware Cloud DR. So you have one copy at on-premise location, the second copy is replicated to Vmware Cloud. If something went wrong with the local backup server, we can just log into Vmware Cloud server and you will be able to download the backup data directly from there. And using this data, you can perform the restoration. So yes, so these are the basic functionalities of any backup software that need to be do, and you need to consider these basic functionalities and basic things that while choosing a backup software. And Vmware is having as we have said, this 5 factors, and Vmware is satisfying all these 5 factors. Yes, and yes, if you want to try this product on your own, so this is available. You just go to the download section of Vmware and you can download it directly from a website, and you will get an 30 days of free trial. So just download the product and test the product on your environment. Yeah. So yes, so we came to the end of the session. So I will just hand this over to Mr. Mohammed. Okay, and yes.
Okay, all right, thank you so much, Nivas here for the wonderful demonstration. And I think we have, we are out of time now for the Q&A. So in case if you come up with any of, if you have any queries, and if you would like to discuss more on your questions or anything more about the Vmware, you can very well reach us anytime on the numbers listed here, or you can email us at vmware-sales@vmware.com or vmware-support@vmware.com, so that we can get in touch with you and we can help you with that, with any questions or concerns you come up. Okay, Thank you once again for all for joining here on today's webinar, and you all have a wonderful day. Goodbye.